Hello, and welcome to today's presentation on DNS scavenging. Now, DNS scavenging is the act of going through your DNS databases and making sure that it's all self-consistent. Basically, that you don't have duplicate A records or conflicting A and PTR records, and just making sure that the whole environment is clean. And hopefully that will eliminate a lot of errors in your environment because I've seen a lot of collisions in the DNS area where you have two A records for the same IP address, and obviously that will cause some connection issues in your network. So eliminating them is always a very good thing. Plus, in a way, you're optimizing your DNS server by reducing the actual amount of records that it's processing so that it can hopefully be able to respond a little bit quicker. So when you first open the spreadsheet, as usual, you're going to be prompted for a password, which is, for the time being, capital M, capital S, TAR, capital S. And that will bring you to the Instructions tab. Instructions tab, read it carefully, tells you how to actually run this program. But it's very similar to the name mapping program that we've seen, where we have an input tab, which is exactly the same format as it was in the name mapping. So if you've got that data already, you can use exactly the same data. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to use the same data as well, which is stored in the sample data tab. And I will just copy that and paste it in the input spreadsheet. Now, again, just like in the DNS name map spreadsheet, we press Alt-G for the whole thing to get going. And this is very quick. Now, we can go straight to the results over here. In the results tab, we can see different types of reports. So we have to select in this checkbox here the type of report that we want to look at. So if we want to see how many unresolved aliases there are in our DNS tables, we just select one over here. So unresolved aliases is report number 1, select 1, and go. So all these aliases here are unresolved, which means that we've got, it points to an A record, but the A record just doesn't exist. There is no matching A record for this value. So either the CNAME record needs to be removed, or this A record is incorrect. It looks like, for example, on this first one here, that we've got a typo. It looks like the CNAME it's got a dash in it, and the A record has got a dot in it. Probably if you were to look at the actual A record, you would see that it's got a dash in it, so that this doesn't map out to anything. Nonetheless, so either the CNAME needs to be removed or the content of it needs to be changed. So there's other reports here if we want to see A records that don't have PTR records. It's a good idea to have a PTR record for every A record in order to do reverse lookups. It really helps you in troubleshooting and debugging. So this report gives you the list of all the A records that don't have matching PTR records. Basically, there is, so you cannot do reverse lookups on these. Or as we can see here, there are multiple PTR records for this A record, which is equally bad. So somebody needs to go in there and dig up what the problem is. Now we can look at the A record has conflicting PTR records. So this gives us a list of all the A records that do have PTR records, but the PTR records don't agree with the A record. Doesn't tell us here what the PTR value is, but if we were to do a search on the PTR records on these IP addresses, we'd see that the names are not the same. And then there's a couple of reports on PTR records. So PTR records that map to different A records. So these PTR records here basically map to these names, but the name is not the same as what the A record says for that address. So again, need further investigation. And then there are some PTR records that map to names that don't have any A records. So these are basically doing nothing. They're just slowing down your DNS. So there's a whole bunch of these in this particular DNS dump. So that shows you the reports. So each one of those reports shows you a different set of DNS problems that you might encounter. On top of that, we've got a summary report here, which just gives us some statistics on our DNS error rate. So if we looked at the original dump, there were 5,120 records, of which 214 are SOA records, 707 are NS records, and so on. There are 111 CNAME records, of which 16 don't have matching A records. There are 2,120 A records, of which 420 don't actually have a PTR record, and 166 of them will have either multiple A records or multiple PTR records attached to them. So we have conflicts, and the same for PTR records. Now this is, in this particular case, this customer is in the middle of a transition, and that's why he's got a lot of overlap and a lot of collisions between his A and PTR records. He is in the middle of cleaning it up. But this gives you a fairly good idea of the health of your DNS. I hope you enjoyed this web tutorial, and I hope you download and look at a few of the others that we've got on the website for you. Thanks, and have a great day.